Yes, I'm late at Robert Hack Diamonds in Brookfield on Greenfield because I'm getting all the information. People are experts on lab-grown diamonds, regular diamonds, buying gold. So I apologize for being late to the show, but I need to make sure that all the information I give you is correct. And the information is you go to Robert Hack Diamonds and they'll explain everything about, well, what about natural? What about lab-grown? Well, these are the people you want to talk to. 2-carat lab-grown stud earrings now at $700. I've had various prices for the 2-carat lab-grown stud earrings, and this is the lowest by far. I think the last one is, for those of you that listen to every show multiple times, like Bryan Bulaga does for the Packers. I think it last was at $950. Now I'm down to $700. You should like me a lot more than before. All right, so yes, a special on-location 1-hour Homer show, the Bryan Bulaga 1-hour Homer show. This is actually the portion where I even cut it short, where I have to actually do something, because very soon we will have Bryan Bulaga and Jason Wilde, and they're really good together. So, Bryan, good afternoon. I know you're there. Apologize for being a little late, but not really, because I was becoming, as best you can, a 5-minute expert on lab-grown, natural, whether you should buy gold now or sell gold. The price is good. What about silver? Are you an expert in any of those fields, sir?
I can't say that I am an expert in any of those fields. I can assure you that. But it's
all
okay.
Right.
But I felt like I haven't been on with you in a while, so this is an honor for me to be back with you. You know.
Oh, right. Yes. An honor. Yes. When people listen, they go, I listen to Bryan Bulaga and whoever the other people are that are on the show. But I do know this, even though I didn't watch the game, that you were not pleased with the offensive line performance against Detroit.
Yeah.
And to the degree that you were surprised, or did you say it happens? Where does it fit? Because I believe, one, you're fair, but I think you can be tough if people just don't perform at a level you're capable of seeing they can.
Yeah, I mean, I think games like that do happen. That is one side of this. That game is things like that happen, but we've seen a certain level of play from this offensive line, and more specifically, pass protection from this offensive line that's been really good this entire season. And what happened against Detroit was really not what this team or not what this group has done all season. And it was against guys that Detroit had that were, by all means, backup type players besides Zadarius, who they brought in from Cleveland. And a lot of these guys were free agents that they brought in that week or the week prior that were winning reps. And they were just getting beat. And it was something that I was not expecting to see. I thought that would be a strong point for Green Bay in the game, that they would be able to hold up really well and give Jordan Love a lot of time in the pocket. I thought they'd be able to create a lot of big rushing lanes for Jacobs, and it just wasn't the case. And
all right, now we get to the technique. What happened in any of the situations, you can mention the player if you want, where I'm assuming you watched them and thought, well, what are you doing? That's not you. Because the reason I would think the defensive players are backups or whatever their skills aren't as good as starters, meaning that should, by definition, make it a little easier for the offensive lineman. What's the accuracy of truth of what I just said?
Well, yeah, I mean, the backup guys, in theory, should not be as good as the starters, and that is the case. No Hutchinson out there. He's not out there, and I think there were a couple other of the starting DNs that they have that weren't there. But I'm not trying to go on about Zach Tom, because everyone is very well aware of how highly I think of Zach Tom.
Yes.
But the first play of the game, Zach Tom got caught playing high, right? And Zadarius bull rushed his inside shoulder. and then was able to beat him for a sack on the first play of the game. Very unlike him to play, to be caught high, especially right out the gate. Just things like that were popping up.
But wait a minute. I'm going to be his family and go, hey, Bryan, that's one play. Okay, one play. How about the rest of the game? How was he? Or did he struggle more than you'd expect the whole game?
Yeah, no, that's why I'm saying I'm not sitting here to nitpick one play. But believe me, I'm not. But, the thing was, there were instances of that popping up in the first half quite a bit. And it just wasn't him. It just wasn't him. It was also Walker on the other side. I mean, it was the entire group. So, I'm not just picking on Zach Tom at all. That's certainly not what I'm doing here. Because I think I've been pretty well stated how highly I think of him as a right tackle.
Right. And then my second question for you is, fine, everything you say is good. They scored 31 points in the game. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, I'm on the team. We score 31. I'm thinking we had a pretty good game. I don't care who. I don't care what team it is. I don't care what game it is. 31 gets her done. How much is that accurate?
I mean, 31 should get it done. But going into a game against Detroit, it's almost going to be who has the ball last. And that's really what it came down to, right? Green Bay had their opportunities before Detroit had the ball last, and they didn't capitalize on it, unfortunately. And Detroit had it last, and they made the most out of it and kicked the game-winning field goal. And 31 should be enough. But with Detroit, they're going to keep up with you, and that's how they're built right now, and they're able to keep up with you.
You answered this before, but I wasn't on, so I'll ask it, and if maybe people say it's the same thing. But I just wasn't that bummed. I was disappointed they lost, but I was really impressed how the game could have gotten away. You're playing a good team, and you struggle early, you mess up, and they came back. Whenever they needed to do something, they did it. Now, at the end, you can certainly argue the defense didn't, but that game could have gotten away from them easily. Or, again, is that not giving them enough criticism or not holding them to a high enough standard? I thought the comeback was huge, but didn't win.
I agree with you. I thought the way they fought back was fantastic, right? Early on in that game, I was like, all right, this could go a certain way, right?
Yeah, get ugly.
This could go a certain way, and they battled and they brought it back, and they made it a football game. I understand there's no moral victories, right? I understand it, but they showed a lot of character, right? They showed a lot, and I get it's on the road, and you got to fight through adversity when you're on the road, and that's just.
If I'm on that team, now maybe it's not a moral victory, but after that game, I'm thinking if we have to go to Detroit in the playoffs, I'm fine. It's not going to be easy, but I got no problem knowing that we can walk in Detroit and beat them.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's how a player on the team would feel after that kind of a loss and now having lost to them twice. Am I close to accurate or making up stuff again?
No, I think that if I were on the team, I would feel like we could go in there and win the game. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season.
Now, I do want to say, statistically, that's actually not accurate. It is actually pretty easy. I think you win 75% of the time. But I'm sure if the two teams are good, it's tough. But I wanted to the Institute looked into it and said, Homer, pass it along. It's actually easier than you think to beat a team 3 times. But I would say, well, then let me know what it is when the two teams are good. Because I think when the two teams are good, that's exactly the opposite. That's just what you say.
But I guess that's what I was going to say. When do the teams play 3 times when they're
correct?
Good?
Well, that's right. Yes, when they're in the playoffs, or maybe one team gets in and they're barely in, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it.
You're right. It'd be easy to beat. But I'll get the specific stats in the various games. But they do better than you think.
But to your point, if I'm on that team, I think after that performance, I think we could go there and win a football game. Like you said, it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to play a little bit of a cleaner game than you did the last one, right? Got to clean some things up. Got to protect the ball a little bit more. You got to, protect Jordan Love a little bit more. Got to get it off the field on 3rd down and 4th down a few times, right? Got to do that.
Well, that's going to be my follow-up question. I'm on the offense. I'm thinking we can beat them. Hey, defense, see if you can hold them under 100. And I don't know how the discussion is, but I'd be scared if the offense went in there feeling like we have to score in every possession, because I don't know that you can do that, and I'm not sure what that creates. But you can answer the question of if you were on this offensive team and you play in Detroit a 3rd time, do you feel like we got to score 30? But then 30 wasn't enough for the last game. I don't know. How does that factor in when their offense is that good and you legitimately question how much the defense can stop them? Though they did create the turnovers in a down situation that made it easier for to score. What's the truth on that, though they won't go public?
Yeah, I mean, we had instances in my time there where the defense was very opportunistic, like the defense that they have there now, where they would give up points, but they would get a lot of turnovers, and we'd get into these games with high-powered offenses. A good example would be 2011 with the Saints to open the season, and we just kind of knew, hey, every time we get the ball, we're going to have to go score. Like, that's just the way this is going to go. It's going to be a shootout. And there wasn't any finger pointing, right? It wasn't that way. It was just like, hey, we take the field, we need to score a touchdown or at the minimum get a field goal. We need points every drive. And that was the way we looked at it, because we knew eventually they were going to get us the ball back in an advantageous spot. And that's the way we looked at it. And we always thought we're not going to put them in a predicament. We're not going to give them a short field to work with, right? We're not going to back them up against our goal line where they got to make a stop somewhere in the red zone and things like that. So, like, we just looked at it as score points, essentially don't kill ourselves by, making our defense start in bad positions. And I'm sure that's the way these guys feel, right? Like,
don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, exactly. And if you do that, you give your defense a chance and hope they get turnovers. And that's the way you got to look at it.
And especially it's reflective of understanding how good the offense is you're playing against. All right, the segment, we go to the second quarter, the highly touted second quarter with Jason Wilde and Bryan Bulaga. Again, I'm at Robert Hack Diamonds on Greenfield in Brookfield, and they have a great deal, 2-carat lab-grown stud earrings, $700. They got it all natural lab-grown, and they'll explain it so that you understand everything properly to make the decision you want. And also, they'll give you cash for your gold. They do that well. So, again, 2-carat lab-grown stud earrings, $700, which, if I check my notes, that's a couple $100, almost $300 less than the last time I gave you a deal. Jason Wilde and Bryan Bulaga, next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we got a crash along 94 eastbound to southbound 4394 on that ramp there in the Marquette. It's off on the right shoulder, so something to watch out for. It's going to slow down through that area. We also have backup southbound on 43 coming in from about Locust down into the Marquette interchange. Westbound 94 slowing down from 27th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard, then again from Highway 100 into Waukesha County all the way to Barker Road. Eastbound's backed up from 92nd Street through the Stadium interchange. We do have delays along southbound 41 too, so just south of Silver Spring all the way down to Capitol Drive. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Clear and cold, a low of 6 above with a wind chill of 0 to 5 below. Then tomorrow, mostly to partly sunny, a high of 27. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
That's the idea of a deal. Each side gets wins, right? They have Jordan Love under contract for the next 5 years.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
I think Packers fans would sign up for 12-5 today, and maybe they will be.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN, and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. It's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee, and with holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust AccuTrans Group to handle all of my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or festive celebration, AccuTrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
The president of James Imaging Systems, Tom Tegeter.
Over 45 years ago, my father, James Tegeter, founded our company on a cornerstone of quality, integrity, and service as the best way of connecting with clients. As I reflect on 2024, I'm grateful for the James Imaging Systems team. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to always connecting with clients and helping them thrive. To each long-term client, I extend my gratitude and thanks for your confidence and support. We look forward to remaining connected to you as your local business technology partner. I also appreciate our new 2024 clients for connecting with us. Welcome to the James Imaging Systems family. Looking forward to 2025, I believe if each of us embraces the power of connection, our local community will prosper. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and God bless America.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
'Tis the season of giving. Ho, ho, ho! At your nearby Milwaukee metro region, Hunis Auto Group dealerships. Hunis is the area's #1 rated car, truck, SUV, and EV holiday headquarters. During our exclusive Season of Savings sales event, we're offering our biggest discounts of the year on our entire inventory of America's best-selling brands from Buick and GMC at nearby Hunis locations in both Oak Creek and Greenfield. Thinking pre-owned? Your local Hunis dealership has the area's biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, SUVs, and hybrids, starting as low as $39.95 and payments as low as $199 per month. We're paying above top Kelly Blue Book values on all trade-ins, no matter the mileage or condition. Now that's giving even Santa would be proud of. Ho, ho, ho! Our huge Season of Savings sales event is going on now, exclusively at your nearby Milwaukee metro region Hunis Auto Group dealerships or online at shophunis.com. From the Hunis Auto Group family to yours, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Yes, voted as the best segment all week long that you have on the Homer Hour. Jason Wilde and Bryan Bulaga. I'm at Robert Hack Diamonds. This might be as good. 2-carat lab-grown stud earring, $700. And if you want to know about lab-grown or natural and all the things there, these are the people to talk to. Robert Hack Diamonds, Brookfield or Greenfield. But right now, I get to sit back, listen, and learn. Jason Wilde and Bryan Bulaga. Brian's nice, so he intros the segment.
Jason, good evening. How are you?
I'm good, Brian. I just want a full disclosure. I voted for the segment I do with John Anderson as the best segment of the week. And then secondly, I'm just kidding. And secondly, I'm in Starbucks on Oneida Street. So if I sound like I'm talking like a golf announcer, it's because, well, we've got one at gymnastics practice. We got another one going to volleyball practice. So I'm staying over by Lambeau so I can shuttle the girls around. So I apologize if I sound like Bryan Bulaga approaching the 17th tee. He's 2 shots back as he starts this hole. So anyway, how are you guys?
Doing good. So what do you got on the injury front? I mean, anyone returned to practice today that that's been out, or what are you hearing with Dobbs and Jair, or what's been going on?
Yeah, so I talked to Jair today. It was for 30 seconds, so it was not super informational, but I did get a chance to ask him 2 questions. The first one was, how are you feeling, and do you expect to play on Sunday? And he said, I'm feeling better. It's a process. It is a process, you know? And I said, okay, well, are you getting your hopes up that you could play? Do you feel like you have a chance this week? He said, I have more of a chance this week than I had last week. So you had him as a teammate for 2 years. Can you translate that for me?
Yeah. That doesn't sound too optimistic.
I might play, but don't think I'm going to play. Just assume I'm not playing.
Yeah. And then if I do play, be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, if I'm a betting guy, I'm saying he's probably not playing, if I had to take a guess. But I don't know. Maybe he'll surprise us. Never know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Edger and Cooper practiced for a second straight day. That's encouraging. He thinks he is going to play. Now, rookies, of course, they always think they're going to play. But he did say he's ready to roll. Evan Williams is still in the concussion protocol, so there's a chance that it could be Zane Anderson getting the start at safety, because Javon Bullard, although he has not officially been ruled out, he is not playing. He's week to week, as LaFleur said, and that's code for he ain't playing this week. So, but still, I think they're pretty darn healthy. Romeo Dobbs was full again today for the second straight day, even though he's missed 2 games with a concussion, but he is still in the concussion protocol. So we can't say for certain that he's been cleared and that he's ready to go just yet.
Really? Still in the concussion for man. But he's practicing full, but he's still in the protocol for what? He's going on 2 weeks now, right?
Yeah, he suffered the concussion against San Francisco. Didn't play against Miami, didn't play against Detroit, and did you ever have a concussion during your playing days? A diagnosed one, I should say.
Yeah, I did.
So that the final hurdle is to be able to go through practice with heavy exertion and be able to come out of that and not feel any lingering effects of the concussion. And I would think that this would be an encouraging sign that he keeps being a full participant, and that on Friday they'll say he's been cleared and he'll be off the injury report. At least you would hope so, because if he misses
I'm not an NFL player, but
that would worry me.
He's playing. Because if you have a bad concussion, you can't practice. You can't. It's so bad. They put him in dark rooms. You don't even remember where you are. You lose track of days. He's playing. Dr. Homer of concussions. No NFL concussions.
Jason, did you by any chance get to talk to any of these offensive linemen? Because you and I discussed a little bit on your show Wednesday, kind of what these guys expect to go into on Wednesday, or not Wednesday. That's the day of your show, but expect to go in on Sunday with the crowd noise and this atmosphere in Seattle, since none of them have been there, none of them have played in it. Kind of expectations and how good they're going to have to be with their communication going in there.
Yeah, it's funny because I think I told you this when you were on our show yesterday, that I was in the middle of talking with Elton Jenkins when it dawned on me that he had never played there. I feel like, especially during your career and my career to this point, I feel like we were in Seattle all the time. They were an honorary member of the NFC North. And instead, it's been since 2018, as you know, because you pointed it out to me, that you did play in that game, and you guys lost, which you did a lot of, unfortunately, during that 18 season. But, I was talking to Elton about it, and I keep going back to this. I even mentioned this to Adam Stenovich, Packers offensive coordinator, today. I thought he made such a good point a couple weeks ago going into Detroit, saying, essentially all of our road games have been half and half, 50-50 Packers fans and the home fans. And the fact that, they went into Detroit and had the issues that they did during the first quarter of getting off the snap late and giving up some pressures and a sack on Love, I feel very confident that they have spent this week saying, okay, we can't let that stuff happen again. Look, this is, as you well know from playing there, Brian, a very loud venue. It's as loud as probably most, if not all, indoor venues, and it doesn't have the advantage of the roof to bounce back the sound and keep it trapped inside the building. So, the one guy that I didn't get to talk to yesterday or today that I want to talk to tomorrow is Josh Myers, who obviously is, the guy who's in charge of the snap at center. And I don't know how you saw him against Detroit. I mean, it looked to me like all those guys struggled in the first quarter and a half before they finally settled in. So, but he's a guy that they obviously need to play well and kind of keep that whole line under control in a very loud environment.
Yeah, and I don't know if you talked to LaFleur, if LaFleur mentioned anything about kind of getting these guys in a rhythm in an environment like that. I mean, especially, Sunday Night Football, huge stage, trying to get these guys to, the worst thing you want to do, and you know this, Jason, you've seen us play there before, and the last thing you want to do is get this crowd riled up by going 3 and out and ending with a QB hit or a sack and getting that place buzzing. You want to stay on the field and make this thing simple and really drag out a drive to kill the crowd. So has he addressed anything about, kind of keeping this thing basic or kind of settling guys in, or is he keeping it pretty close to the vest about what they're looking to do?
Yeah, so I asked LaFleur just straight out, like, how much have you challenged your offensive line and how much are they challenging themselves based on how they had played in Detroit? And I got a fair amount of coach speak as he's frequently one to do. But the fact of the matter is that, the balancing act, like you said, the one thing you don't want to do is have the Seahawks win the toss and elect to defer. Because I don't know, maybe he would, but I don't think LaFleur, if he wins the toss, is going to want the ball first. I think he's going to want to say, hey, let's get our defense out there first. Let's get them to punt, and then our offense can get out there. I just don't think this is a place where, unless you're McCarthy trying to send a message, you necessarily want to take the ball first. But if let's say whatever happens, let's say somehow they end up with the ball first, I'll be honest, I would think the challenge for him is, okay, I kind of want to get my offensive lineman moving forward instead of backward. So let's run the ball on first down, hopefully get at least enough that I can run it again on second down, and then I've got a third and manageable on third down. The problem, as you just pointed out, is if you run it on first and second down, and then you're obviously throwing on 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 4, if you don't connect on that, you've given them exactly what they want, is the 3-and-out punt. So yep. I'll be curious to see what approach he takes, but that I thought was his mistake in Detroit was, the crowd's going to be riled up, and just because you were able to go up top on the first play last year on Thanksgiving and throw it deep and succeed, I didn't think you needed to do that again. Now, he would counter that by saying, hey, we had Reed open down the field on that opening play because Reed was going to be the target, which Lord knows he hasn't been the target a lot lately. But they obviously gave up the pressure and never got the opportunity to get the ball out of Jordan's hands.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jaden Reed, I'd like both of you to comment. Explain what's happened, what's going to happen. Is he as good as you thought? Because I still think he is, but I don't have any explanation for the ability for him to disappear given how good he is.
Yeah, I would let Bryan answer it primarily because he's way smarter than me, and he is a doctor after all. But I would just say this beforehand. I said this to Steno this afternoon. Like, I feel like, okay, early on in the year, I'm asking you questions about Romeo's involvement in the offense after he no-showed for work. Then a couple weeks later, I'm asking you about Watson's role in the offense and why you're not getting him involved. I said, I don't want to be that guy that now asks you, why aren't you getting Jaden Reed more involved? But he, I did anyway. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting that he said was like, in the flow of the game, they're not thinking about who are we not getting involved necessarily? So he gets to the end of the game. Jordan's thrown 20 passes. He's completed 12 of them. Jaden Reed draws a PI on the first drive. He has a tough graded drop on the second drive, and then he never sees the ball again. And Steno basically said, I looked down at the stat sheet after the game, and I didn't realize that he hadn't had a catch. And he basically said, look, we can't have that happening. Like, we have to have him more involved in that. But I don't think it's any sort of
So translate that. What does that mean?
It means that they're like the challenge, and again, I'll defer to Bryan and I'll shut up here. But look, every play has a first, second, third read. Reed, R-E-A-D, not Jaden Reed, R-E-E-D. And they probably don't have him high enough in the progression frequently enough to have gotten him the ball, I would say. Bryan, wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably part of it, and I think another part of it too is most likely personnel groupings and what personnel groupings he's on the field with, and with the emergence of the run game and what they like to do and what personnel groups they like to run the football out of. They like to run the football out of 2 tight end sets. That means there's only 2 wide receivers, and they like Watson and Wicks as the blocking receivers, which leaves Reed off the field. And then if they throw out of 12, those are the 2 receivers on the field with the 2 tight ends. And that's how it goes. And they're playing a lot of 12 right now, or they're using 12 personnel a lot. And that's kind of how it's shaken out, right? And you can't, I mean, now they can obviously go into this game and use Reed a lot in 12 personnel and change things up and break tendencies that teams are, kind of scouting them on. They can always do that, which I expect them to do that a little bit. But it's all based on personnel groupings and where he's at, and do they want to work him more outside? I mean, Jason, you said that they work him a lot, in the slot. Do they want to work him outside a little bit more? Like, this is all depending on what they see best, for the matchups and the route progression, so to speak. And, he's a slot guy, right? And he's really good in the slot. But if the first progressions are the guys on the outside, maybe you bump him out there, right? Maybe he goes out there, but he's so dangerous on the inside. Do you really want to move that guy? And that's where LaFleur and Steno kind of have to make a decision there. But I guess my thing is too, Jason, and you kind of mentioned it. I mean, we kind of talked about this before the season started, right? Like, there's only one football on the field, right? This was going to come to a point in time this season that we were going to be talking about one of these guys not getting the football, and there was going to be an issue with it, right? Like, it started with Dobbs. Now then it was Watson. Now Watson's getting it, and now it's with Reed.
Yeah, but with Reed is with Dobbs out. That makes it even more bizarre. All right. Well, you guys both answered it, so. All right, Jason, appreciate it. I know you find it hard to believe, but we're running a little late. However, this was one of the finest Jason Wilde, Bryan Bulaga segments. You ought to do Starbucks more often. Thanks.
Well, Bryan sounded like he was going to say more, so nice work. All right, guys, take care. Be good.
Yeah, and the great thing is Bryan can say more in the next couple of minutes. I'm not too worried about that. All right, American Place Casino. I tell you all the time, it's 38 minutes, just a half hour south of Franklin. That's what I said, just a half hour. And everybody said, no, Homer, be specific. All right, exactly 38 minutes if you want to know. American Place Casino, located in Lake County, Illinois. Exciting table games, slot machines, got a sports book, great food, all their promotions, AmericanPlaceCasino.com. And what a deal. Spectacular countdown at American Place Casino this New Year's Eve. Kick off the celebration starting at 10 a.m. Get ready for live entertainment at 5 and a huge $50,000 cash and free play giveaway. $50,000. It's going to be an unforgettable night. Stay tuned for more details. Again, go to AmericanPlaceCasino.com. And this is the first time in which I haven't told you often enough. Just a half hour south of Franklin, American Place Casino. 38 minutes south of Franklin. To those comments from Bryan Bulaga that he didn't get to sneak in before Jason was kicked off the show. Next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
accident now on westbound 94 right about at Moreland Road. It is off on the left shoulder, so heads up with that. Other than that, we've got delays westbound 94 from 13th Street all the way through to about Mitchell Boulevard. Back on the brakes right over the county line to the accident scene. Northbound 41 backing up from Mayfair Road all the way up past Burleigh. Southbound is slowing down just a bit past Capitol Drive down towards Burleigh. And then on northbound 43, delays right around the North Avenue curve up towards Keith. Southbound's heavy from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way down through the Marquette. Back on the brakes from Lapham down to the KK River crossing. And checking the TMJ for Storm Team forecast tonight, clear and cold, a low of 6 above, with a wind chill of 0 to 5 below. Then tomorrow, mostly to partly sunny, a high of 27. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Did you know that military veterans in Wisconsin carry millions of dollars in debt? This holiday season, it's time to give back to those who have given so much. Verizon and the Milwaukee Bucks are teaming up with ForgiveCo to make a difference with the Verizon Debt Relief Program. All December long, Verizon and ForgiveCo will relieve $250,000 of debt each week to ease the burden on local heroes. To find out how military veterans and members can receive special Verizon offers, visit verizon.com/military. Let's bring the spirit of giving to those who served.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art Brookfield office. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. And now, Holtebeck Eye Center is excited to add Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist that is now available to see patients. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol, learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
Take the stress out of the holiday season with the Milwaukee Bucks. Get all your shopping done with Bucks deal season offers, featuring great gifts and limited time packages that even Scrooge will love. Score deals for everyone on your list, including yourself, from the Milwaukee Bucks and Pfizer Forum. 'Tis the season for cheer with your favorite deer. After all, there's no place like Pfizer Forum for the holidays. Shop the offers today at bucks.com/deal season.
Winter is here. Don't let your car care take a backseat. Protect your car against rust, salt, and grime this season at Tsunami Express Car Wash. Tsunami Express makes cleanup a breeze with their state-of-the-art wash technology, powerful free vacuums, and convenient unlimited wash memberships. Try their new best-in-class T2 with graphene wash for the ultimate long-lasting shine and protection. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Try your first wash free when you sign up online at TsunamiExpress.com.
On the actual day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a 12-pack of Lakefront, 11 Jims of Beaming, 10 Royals Crowning, 9 Johnny's Walking, 8 Wines of Sparkling, 7 Miller's Lighting, 6 Geese of Graying, 5 Chardonnays, 4 Spotted Cows, 3 Cabernets, 2 gift cards from just one trip to Discount Liquor.
Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. 'Tis the season to check out Discount Liquor's tremendous selection of over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,000 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines from around the world. And yes, we do carry 8 varieties of ready-to-drink eggnog. Celebrate this most festive time with a great selection of beautifully packaged liquor gift sets, sure to make you the hit of the party or as a perfect gift for the liquor connoisseur on your shopping list. Discount Liquor, 2 locations in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings. Discount Liquor.
See all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Yes, and I am at Robert Hack Diamonds. They have 2 places in Brookfield or in Greenfield. I'm at the one in Brookfield on Greenfield, and they have a great deal. 2-carat lab-grown stud earrings, $700. And I say this, they not only have the best price, they have the best information. You need to know what's going on with natural, what's going on with lab-grown diamonds, what's the appropriate price, which do you want based on having all the best and proper information. That's what you get at Robert Hack Diamonds. Go to roberthackdiamonds.com. Again, 2-carat lab-grown stud earrings at $700. Holtebeck Eye Center met with Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at their Brookfield office. They make vision care a top priority. How do I know that? Because he's been helping patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years, and he wants to help more people with more situations. So he added to his team Dr. Nausheen Abbas to do just that. Don't mess with your vision, whatever the age, whatever the situation. Take care of it. They have experts in every area. Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield, near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holtebeck.com. The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. It's not as good with me with Jason Woolley, but I'm working at it. All right, Jaden Reed. I just don't get. I mean, I also don't get Jair Alexander. It's the weirdest injury. Do you even know what his injury is, Bryan Bulaga? Kind of a knee, but go ahead.
Yeah, he said it's the PCL. So, I mean, that's a major ligament in the knee, PCL.
Right, but it's like the doctors aren't saying anything. Generally with injuries, you get some update from the coaching staff, right, where they say, well, we expect him to play or he's practicing. Does it seem odd to you about the process and the comments of all the parties involved? Or, again, am I just making that up?
No, I mean, they're definitely very very low-key about it. They are very quiet about it. There's not a lot of news coming out. I mean, I think like Jason and Rod Demoski, I think they're almost done asking questions about it to LaFleur because there really isn't any answer that he's giving anymore, right? I think.
And why is that? Does that mean that? Well, that means to me that he expects that he should be playing, and so anything he says is going to sound like he's mad at him, or I don't know. It just seems like everybody thinks he should be playing except Jair. Now, am I wrong? Because I'm just guessing. But, he's an important enough player. You want him on your side. But I think there are situations when the doctors give you an idea that a person should play and they're not, or they're nervous about the injury and the long-term effect of it. But you can't say that because then you lose the player even more. But that doesn't change what's probably the reality of what's going on.
Yeah, it's a tough line for everyone to try to balance, right? Because you got to trust the player, or you want to trust the player and how his body feels, right? Like you got to, if he's saying that his knee's not right, you got to rely on that. And I understand, the team doctors and the trainers may say from a scan standpoint, from the MRI and all that, it looks okay or whatever it may be. Like I understand all that too, but at the end of the day, the player has to go out there and do it. And if he doesn't feel like his knee can hold up, which we saw against Chicago, that was the case, right? Like he was in there for 10 plays or whatever it was, and he couldn't finish. And you don't want to put your team in that situation again. So, listen, I hope he's back out there, like you said, because he's an important piece of the team as soon as possible. But it just doesn't seem like what he said to Jason it's going to be this week, but maybe he surprises us.
All right, Jaden Reed, it's real obvious to me. I got this nailed, Bryan, and you can tell. Like, it's clear he's not a number one. And I'm not saying a number one to me, a number one to you. He's clearly not a number one to LaFleur because LaFleur's not treating him as a number one. And if somebody's a number one, you do things to keep him a part of every game. And they have done very little in that regard for Jaden Reed. So whatever he is, they've told us he's not a number one to them. Again, joining my club, or Homer, you just made it up.
Yeah, I mean, I think but at the same time, like I think they've made that very clear to everyone that they don't have a number one, right? Like I think they've made that pretty clear from day one that they got a lot of guys that they consider very good players, but they don't have a number one, and they're going to go with the hot hand, and that's the way they're going to operate this year. And I got to take them for what their word was when they said it early on in almost training camp at the start of the season. So
even though he put up some incredible stats in terms of rushing and receiving, and you're looking at numbers like when you mention somebody early in their career, if you can just mention Randy Moss, that means you're putting up special, and he's gone from special to not anymore, but what they used to say, put him on a milk carton.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean, 4 games, 8 receptions. I mean, it's it's kind of mind blowing because of how fast he started and the numbers he was putting up. I mean, but I think he'll get back on track. They need him to get back on track. And Jordan Love's performing better, so I think things will get going a little bit more. And the offense will need him to be a key part of it as they get down the stretch here for this thing to go into the playoffs. So, I think they're going to get him back involved, and the coaching staff knows that and sees that. And they'll make it a point to make sure he's involved because you need him. He's a playmaker.
The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour, the best segment with Jason Wilde. We did that a while back. I'm at Robert Hack Diamonds. They have locations in Brookfield and Greenfield. I am the one in Brookfield. And again, as I say, you come by, you got to talk to Robert Hack Diamonds. You'll get the best price and you get the best info to understand all that goes with natural lab-grown diamonds, all the appropriate and understandable information so you can make the best choice. And, of course, they also give you cash for your old gold. They do repair services and a 2-carat lab-grown stud earrings. 2-carat lab-grown stud earrings at $700, which I believe, if you check the old shows, is a drop from $950 earlier, now down to $700. Go to roberthackdiamonds.com or come in and let them tell you everything. You'll get the best price and the best info. More with Bryan Bulaga next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN. Greg Matzek, Gary Ellerson, the day after reaction show you need in your life.
This offense, Matt LaFleur's side of the ball, dragged this whole team through where they are right now.
It's Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Mondays with Greg and Gary.
The defense got hot at the right time. That might be what we're seeing here with the Packers defense as well.
Live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios from 6 to 8 p.m. every Monday on 94.5 ESPN.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. Better is right around the corner in 2025. Feeling better, that is. Getting rid of that joint pain once and for all. QC Kinetics is your solution to finally getting that joint pain relief that you are looking for. When I went to QC Kinetics, I found them to be incredibly accommodating, knowledgeable, and personal to be able to take what I was dealing with and put me on my own individualized plan to pain relief. So no matter what you're dealing with, shoulders, knees, hips, or back, it was back for me. The medical professionals at QC Kinetics are going to use all the tools in their tool belt to help give you that pain relief you've been looking for. So many things that allow you to feel your best for a brand new year. If you've been told surgery is your only or best option, you deserve a second opinion. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation to live your best life in 2025. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here. 'Tis the season for celebrating at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Join them this holiday season for special events to get you in the festive mood. From a spectacular brunch with Santa to the holiday marketplace and one-of-a-kind dinner and a show experiences, St. Kate has a celebration happening nearly every week through the holiday season. Make a night of it and extend the experience by booking an overnight stay at St. Kate. Special packages are now available. Celebrate the holidays with St. Kate. Learn more by visiting stkatearts.com/holidays.
It's WTMJ's Brandon Snide for Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. The holiday season is here, and Wisconsin Harley-Davidson has you covered. Now through December 28th, when you purchase any new Harley-Davidson motorcycle, you'll receive a shopping spree. See sales associate for details, only valid on new bike purchases. December is full of shopping treats. Follow Wisconsin Harley-Davidson's Facebook page and Instagram for more details, and be sure to check out WISHD.com. Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, your destination dealer.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion, or your first big lightning strike, There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Families agents. Life's better when you're under American Families' roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Are you looking for a way to make an impact this holiday season? Donate to Life Navigator's Soap Suds Drive. It's simple. Your donation of body wash, hand soap, lotion, or laundry pods will help local kids and adults with disabilities stay safe, happy, and healthy all year. Please consider donating this holiday season to the Life Navigators Soap Suds Drive. Learn more on how you can donate at lifenavigators.org. Life Navigators has been your disability partner for 75 years. Learn more at lifenavigators.org.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
1, 2, you know what to do.
From Robert Hack Diamonds, they have a place in Brookfield where I am and also in Greenfield. And the weird part is the one in Brookfield where I'm at is on Greenfield Avenue. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch services, and I add now they've been doing it well for over 50 years. And even more that's important. They've got everything figured out. They've been doing it so long. They'll help you simplify confusing insurance decisions. Here's the biggest part. I haven't mentioned it often enough for long enough. They're small enough to handle your needs with special attention, but large enough to have the clout to make it happen. You have to have someone who has the clout to deal with all the insurance companies, all the different facets, so that they get treated well, meaning their clients get treated well. Saganiac Planning, 262-783, Roger Maris, 6161. And Fisco Auto Body, I tell you about them so you'll like me. No, I don't have an auto body place. That's Fisco Auto Body in Forest Home in Franklin. But they have one that's so good. It's family business, owned since 1931. It's not what they do, it's who they are. So by the time they're doing it for you, they've been doing it so many years. So expert workmanship guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. People who listen go there, and they love Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. And eventually they think, they owe me, so they like me. That's a part of it, I admit. Not at the top of the list, but it's a nice thing. Fisco, to remember the name. Talking with Bryan Bulaga as the season, does it wind down now? 13 games, only 4 to go. Do the coaches change? You told me you're only healthy for 1 game of the season. Do you start getting tired? What's the dynamic? Now, granted, there's 17 games instead of 16, so at game 12 or 13, what's the reality of the mental and physical condition of the players and the coaches?
Yeah, I mean, the physical condition is obviously, you're starting to feel it, right? Like you're wearing down physically, but the flip side of that is you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? If you're a good football team like Green Bay is right now, the light at the end of the tunnel is the playoffs, right? So you have that little emotional and mental pick-me-up knowing that, hey, we need to finish out strong and we're going to be where we want to be in the tournament at the end of this. So I always got really excited in December football and those last 3-4 games of the season because I knew we were going to be in the playoffs. Like that was going to be the start of the tournament. So that kind of overtook the way you were feeling physically is the way I would look at it.
So what about the coaches? What are they like? Or is every coach different in that regard when you get to this point in the season?
Yeah, I think every coach is different, but I think, listen, they are all ball, so they get an opportunity to go to the playoffs. They are happier than all get out, man. Like they love it. They are all about it. They're about championships and winning, and that's what they want to do. So like their whole mind frame is like the player is to get to the Super Bowl. So like they're wired to win and get to the playoffs. So yes, they work a lot, man. They're in that building a lot. They're mentally exhausted. But you know what? That's what they love to do. And if, for them, getting to the playoffs is the goal. And if we got there or they get there this year, that is the goal. And then once you get in the tournament, anything can happen. And that's what they're aiming for.
Yeah, but this one's a little weirder. Maybe like there's no way the Packers can be a top seed or whatever. So does that, I mean, they're real. I don't want to say they're playing meaningless games, but they're not maybe as important as they could have been or have been in other years. How is that going to play, or do you really not know because you were never there?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to take these games seriously because you could be seeing these teams again, right? Like, in all honesty.
Whatever you say, I'm going to agree with. I don't. So even though you just
like you could be seeing Seattle in the first round again, or Philly, or Detroit, depending on where you end up. So I'd be taking these things seriously and building confidence, beating good teams on the road. Like, that's the way I would look at this. Because if you look at it, Green Bay, up to this point, hasn't beat a good team on the road yet. And that's the way I would look at it.
They'd like to have something like that before they do make the playoffs. All right, at Robert Hack Diamonds, again, in Brookfield or Greenfield, 2-carat lab-grown stud earrings, $700. They got the best price. They got the best info. RobertHackDiamonds.com. Marquette basketball is next. Number 4 in the country. Oh, baby. Next.
Westbound 94 got some backups from about 25th Street all the way through to Mitchell Boulevard. Back on the brakes, heading into the Moreland Road area.